couple interceptions, an interception and a fumble, but some things you can control, some things you cannot. But huge plays by our defense, 2 times getting off on, I think 3 times maybe on 4th down, getting off the field. So Elijah Collins has a big day, some big runs. Brian Lewerke has a huge day. Cody White has a big day, huge catches at the end of the game there in the 4th quarter, contested catches. And just can't say enough about our football team and our seniors, and they've stayed together. And when you win a football game at the end of the year, when you win a bowl game, when so much goes into it from a preparation standpoint, you know, it's a good feeling, it's a very positive feeling. So we'll take it from there, and I'll answer some questions.
Mike, some questions?
Mark, in the second half, you were able to contain Newman and kind of cut down his ability to escape. What things changed for you guys at that point going into the second half?
Well, I thought we did a pretty good job bull rushing their tackles back into the quarterback's lap pretty much, and cut down his running opportunities. He's a good football player. Look at it here. I'm seeing 17 rushes for 112 yards for their quarterback, and he threw the ball down the field effectively as well. So good football player. We needed to contain him, but Wake Forest has a good football team. So again, I want to congratulate them and ourselves here and our players as we go through. But I thought we did a good job just sort of confining him. He had some running opportunities early in the game.
Mark, there were some times this year in games that you didn't win where the defense had chances late to put the game away, and they were kind of putting that again today with, you know, some of the turnovers in the red zone, the missed field goal. What was the difference today that they were able to kind of make those plays and put this game away when it was a bit of a struggle this year?
You know, really, I think we got stronger as the game went. You know, when you look at us, they scored in their first series, and then they actually scored 21 points in the first half. So as the game progressed, we got more confident. We got more, I would say we got stronger, got more confident. And I think that was the difference. Our attitude and our confidence level just continued to just raise as we went. So got off the field, made it very difficult to run to really do anything in the second half for them. We managed to stop them numerous times. So, but they have a good football team. They'll test you.
Mark in the middle here. It seemed like the last drive when you guys were trying to score, get the go-ahead score, I think on the previous possession before you ran up the clock, you remained pretty aggressive with the play calling, throwing the ball around instead of running it. I guess what was the thought process going into that possession you were trying to close it out?
You know, the next to the last drive,
Yes.
where we kicked the field goal. Just felt like the 2 scores would, you know, with their explosive offense as it was, we needed to make sure that we were staying on the offensive ourselves, and at least getting into a position where we could kick a field goal and make it a 9-point game, make it a 2-possession game. So that was the intent, but again, I thought it was good play calling, and I thought it was good execution. Usually that's what happens. But, big catches by Cody White, big plays by Lewerke. Huge play in that series to get a first down with a called run, you know, called option run type of thing. We had the ability to hand it off or keep it. But he continued to make plays really throughout the day.
Coach, was anything approach-wise that changed in the way you were going after the quarterback in the second half, or was it just a progression of what you've been doing well all along?
Sort of a progression. We actually pressured more in the first half than the second half, but I think we got out of our gaps a little bit. And you know, he's a big guy. He's 6'4", 230, and he's elusive as well, so he can run behind his pads as well as take it to you. So, but I thought that, you know, we took an attitude more of capture the quarterback. In other words, push the pocket and, you know, get people and put people back in their face, in his face. I thought that was effective. So we kept telling our guys, push the pocket. More of a capture mode than a kill mode.
Mark, you mentioned Lewerke's play and the plays that Cody White made, but it's several guys, several young guys, show sort of an extra juice, cutback ability, explosiveness. How much did the last month help? You talked about the development of the young guys, also just maybe time to heal. How much did that make a difference?
Well, I mean, I think the young guys that were playing really was about hitting the reset button for them. You know, they had played, they were able to take a step back and say, okay, what have I done? How can I get better? And reassert themselves a little bit. But Trey Mosley has a couple big catches in the game. Huge catch. The guy almost goes for 6, you know, and makes the catch and turns up the sideline. He also has a big 3rd down catch. I think 2 third down catches maybe. Julian Barnett has a catch. We played Nick Samac and J.D. playing on the offensive line. Both of those guys played a lot. Adam Burkhorst, Matt Seibert had squeaked his knee early in the bowl practices, so he played a lot of plays. He was a guy who had virtually played very little coming into this football game. So we have young guys playing, and that was good for them, and to experience a win in a bowl game. And I thought it was an exciting game, so I'm excited. The guys are very excited about it.
Mark, you talk a lot about what seniors mean to a program. Obviously, Brian has a big day in his last game, but see a guy like Mike Panis who grabbed that batted ball and score a touchdown there in the beginning of the game. What does it mean to see guys like that have those sort of moments in this sort of game?
Well, I think when you're a senior and you play your last football game, you want it to be your best. Big difference taking off that jersey when you played your best or you played as best as you can, and taking it off and saying, okay, I didn't do as well as I had planned, or something of that nature. So there's a big difference in that, and I wish he wouldn't have taken his helmet off, okay, but it cost us 15, but a great play by him, a very alert play by him. Very alert play. And I thought he played very well throughout the game. I think there's the way they run their offense, there's always, when you go against a fast tempo offense, and they're a little bit different in the way they run it, there's always you can practice it, but there's always a sort of point in time where you have to get used to it, the tempo and how they're doing things. So I thought we did a good job with that as the game progressed.
You had talked about your excitement going into next season. Was this game kind of an encapsulation of why you're excited about the future of the program?
I'm always excited about the future, to be honest with you. I always look forward to the next challenge, next goal in your life, and bringing people with you. And I think that's something that you always do. I think that's a natural progression for every football coach or every CEO maybe in the country. What's next? I keep talking to our players about, okay, what is next? How do you handle your challenges that are coming down the road for you? And so that's how we'll spring forward. That's always how we've done it.
Mark, with the pass catchers that you're expected to have back next year, you got big games from Jalen, big game from Cody, with Trenton as well, becoming a downfield threat. How much does that maybe help who's going to come next after Brian?
Well, I think you got to have a guy that can catch it if you can throw it. So, I mean, anyway, if you got a big range of a radius of where you can catch the football, it's going to help any quarterback as they move forward here. He made a lot of plays with his legs, and Brian made a lot of throws as well. So, when did he become the all-time, all-purpose leader? Is that right?
Yeah.
Total offense. For a quarterback who really played three solid years, and he was hurt some last year, so he did play in about 4 games. So that's quite an accomplishment.
Mark, you talk about what a bowl win can do, maybe especially after a season like this. Can you speak a little bit about the vibe and how it may or may not change inside the program in the next few months, because of this win?
I can say that the bar has been raised here immensely. And when you talk about, okay, we're a 7-6 football team, a lot of people are celebrating that as a tremendous accomplishment. To me, it's the basic minimum that we have to do. That's where this program has come in the last decade. That's a good thing. But you don't ever want to take anything away from the guys that have accomplished what they've done. We've had a lot of things go against us this year. Some things went with us today, and we were able to accomplish some things. Still, we had to fight through adversity today. That's the nature of it. I can't speak to totally the answer to the question, but I can speak towards today. If that makes any sense. Very good.
Can you talk a little bit more about Billison? You had to rely on him today.
Yeah, big game. He's another guy that had a big game. Has a big 64-yard play. He got a big play down to the 5-yard line, which wouldn't have fumbled it. The guy did a great job. They got players too, and did a great job stripping it. But he made some big plays and gave some big catches, and probably played, 60 plays or 50 plays. He and Berghorst, Adam Parks Gissinger gets in there as well. Max Rosenthal goes out, Gissinger's in there. There's another guy, a redshirt freshman, who really hasn't played very much, hasn't catch. So from that perspective, we got guys stepping forward that are young players that really haven't played a lot. That I thought did a nice job. I thought Trent had a very good day.
And Gilson's always had that vertical ability for you, right? He's got a good for just kind of take hold.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good ball receiver. Anything else? Thanks, Go Green. I want to thank the Pinstripe Bowl for everything that they did for us this week. I mean, tremendous. John Mosley, thank him personally today, but also want to thank them for their organization and making this a great moment for us, for our student athletes. I mean, everything that we could ask for from a bowl perspective was put in place and very well organized. And obviously, when you win the football game, it's sort of icing on the cake. But we had a great experience here. And, Spartans will be out in New York City one more night, so hopefully it's a great night for them as well.